In just a minute, I'll introduce our annual Christmas story, My Telescope. For those of you who may be listening for the first time, this is a story of a family living in the heartland of America at Christmas, and a gift to two young girls to look at the stars and dream. I hope you will enjoy our Christmas story, and may it bring back fond memories of your days at Christmas. And now, My Telescope.
Welcome, and thanks for joining me today. I'm Dawn Meyer, Space Coast News Editor. In December of 1968, I was a young girl growing up in rural Ohio. My family followed the space program very closely, watching all of the launches and milestones on TV. That Christmas Eve, one of the gifts that my parents had given me and my sister was a telescope so we could look at the moon and the stars. As it turned out, that Christmas Eve, 1968, was very special. The crew of Apollo 8, Frank Borman, Jim Lovell, and Bill Anders, were going to become the first humans to orbit another world. They were going to orbit the moon. We all sat in front of our television that night and listened to that historic broadcast from the moon. We were in awe.
I hope that all of you back on Earth can see what we mean when we say it's a rather foreboding horizon, a rather dark and unappetizing looking place. We're now going over approaching one of our future landing sites, selected in this smooth region to call the Sea of Tranquility. Smooth in order to make it easy for the initial landing attempts, in order to preclude having to dodge mountains. Now you can see the long shadows of the lunar sunrise. We are now approaching lunar sunrise, and for all the people back on Earth, the crew of Apollo 8 has a message that we would like to send to you. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good, and divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day. And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. And God said, "Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas. And God saw that it was good. And from the crew of Apollo 8, we close with good night, good luck, a Merry Christmas, and God bless all of you on the good earth.
After the newscast concluded, I remember going out into the cold night air to where Mom and Dad had set up our telescope. I was very disappointed as they explained to me that our telescope was not powerful enough to actually see Apollo 8 orbiting the moon. So I sat there gazing up at the moon in amazement, thinking what a miracle it was that there were actually people up there for the first time. And that night has stuck with me ever since, urging me to enter the space program, to work on the space shuttle, to dare things that not everybody else sees or understands. And the closing words of their transmission as they gazed down at us, back at us, on the Earth, from the moon, still ring in my ears. And from the crew of Apollo 8, we close with good night, good luck, a Merry Christmas, and God bless all of you on the good earth. And from Florida's Space Coast, this is Dawn Meyer for About Space Today. I wish you a Merry Christmas, and God bless all of you on the good earth.